I can, but hold on to your fucking seats because this is a wild ride. No pun intended. Let's do it. Titane is a French film about this girl named Alexia, and when she is younger, she gets in a car accident with her father, which results in her needing a titanium plate in her head. As they're leaving the hospital, Alexia spots her parents' car and runs up to it and embraces it. Years later, Alexia is now an adult and she's a showgirl at this motor show. One night, a man that was watching the show follows Alexia out to her car and declares his love for her and tries to kiss her. And she offs him using this metal stick that she has in her hair. She goes back inside the showroom to clean up and take a shower, and she spots this car that turns on by itself. And apparently the car gave Alexia the fuck me eyes because she proceeds to go inside of it and do it with the car. Yup, don't ask me how. It doesn't show how, but it shows enough to know what's going on. We quickly find out that this man was not Alexia's first victim, and in fact, she is a fucking serial killer. She goes home where she lives with her parents, and they're watching the news about the serial killer, completely unaware that it's their own daughter. Alexia starts to hang out with Justine, who's one of her coworkers, and she's at her house for a party one night. And she goes to the bathroom and realizes that something is leaking out of her, and it's motor oil. She takes a pregnancy test, and sure enough, she finds out that she is pregnant. By a car. And she attempts to get rid of it on her own using her metal hair stick to no avail. So she goes back out to the party and sits on the couch with Justine, and she decides for some reason to off her and proceeds to do so with the metal hair stick that she just used to do that whole thing. Mind you, there's other guests at this party that hear a struggle and start to come downstairs, and Justine proceeds to brutally off them all, with the exception of one woman who manages to escape. Alexia then returns home where she attempts to burn this blanket that has blood on it, but instead it sets her house on fire. And instead of alerting her parents, she barricades them in their bedroom and then just leaves. So basically everybody's dying. So the woman who escaped obviously can give a description, and Alexia is now wanted for murder. She goes to this train station and she sees all of these missing posters for this young boy named Adrian. So she decides to alter her appearance to look like him and turns herself in as the missing boy. To achieve this look, she also has to tape down her stomach, which is getting increasingly more pregnant. Vincent, who is Adrian's father, comes to the police station and just accepts this person as his son. The police suggest he does a DNA test and he's like, nope, it's fine. I'm just taking this person home. Vincent is a fire chief and he takes Alexia to the station and introduces her to the other firemen. Alexia, who by the way does not speak at all, which Vincent thinks is normal due to the trauma that Adrian must have gone through. So he has Alexia start working at the fire station, and the other firemen don't like her because Vincent gives her responsibilities that they should have. And when they try to talk to Vincent about the identity of this person, are you sure this is your son? He basically tells them to shut the fuck up and never bring this up again. Throughout this, we see that Vincent also regularly injects steroids, but one day he injects too much and he passes out. Alexia, who at this point had considered running away, finds him and helps him and decides to stay, and the two of them develop this strange bond. One day, Vincent's ex-wife, who obviously is Adrian's mother, comes to see her son, and she immediately knows that this is not her fucking son. And while she's there, she ends up walking in on a very pregnant Alexia who is taping down her stomach. But instead of getting angry and telling Vincent, she goes up to Alexia and is like, you need to continue to feed into this delusion for him because this is the only thing that's going to give him a purpose, and you need to take care of him. And she leaves. Vincent at this point has also fully understood that this is not his son, but because he is so desperate for his son, for a child, he tells Alexia, whoever you are, I know you're not my son, but you are my son and I'm going to take care of you now. During this, she has a towel on that falls off, which reveals her breasts, and he sees it and is kind of shocked, but then just moves on. He's like, nope, you're still my son. So they end up going to a party at the fire station one night, and Alexia finally lets loose a little bit, and she gets on top of a fire truck and performs a dance. Remember, she was a showgirl, so this dance is very seductive. So all the other firefighters are confused as fuck and are like, what the fuck is going on? Vincent comes in and breaks it up. He's Alexia, now very pregnant, is left alone in the fire station, and she proceeds to do it with a fire truck. Did you think the weirdness was over? Because it's fucking not. So the pregnancy obviously continues, and at this point her stomach starts to rip and reveals that underneath her stomach is these titanium plates. And eventually she goes into labor. So Vincent comes to help her through the labor, at which point she reveals that her real name is Alexia. And as she's in labor, she attempts to seduce him and then is like, no, wait, I don't want to do that. and he proceeds to help her give birth. As she is giving birth, the side of her head where the titanium plate is in rips open, and that kills her, but not before the baby is out. Vincent holds the newborn, which has these titanium plates down its back, and he holds it as it cries and whispers to it, "I'm here," and the movie ends. Yeah, take a second to process that one. It's okay.